Hello, what's up? It's your boy, Stupidboy, back at it again. It's podcast time, baby. It's been a while since I uploaded one of these. Meanwhile, my channel on YouTube, Stupidboy UFC, has been on some wild ride where the number of subscribers is increasing but sort of stopped increasing now. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, subscribe. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, let me introduce myself. This is the number one podcast show in the entire mixed martial arts media. Nah, I'm just kidding. I am just a kid, one poor bloke from middle of nowhere who likes mixed martial arts and likes talking to virtual friends who have mutual likings like watching some gladiatorial shit. I've been hearing this time and again now that current version of Charles Oliveira will defeat arguably the greatest lightweight of all time, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, I like this question, not because it gives some fantasy about matchup between Charles Oliveira, an elite jiu-jitsu mixed martial artist, against a great wrestler, Khabib Nurmagomedov. No, it's not my thing. I like this question because of the wording of the question, because of the word the current version of Charles Oliveira. It is not whether Charles Oliveira will defeat Khabib Nurmagomedov, but it is whether the current version of Charles Oliveira will defeat Khabib Nurmagomedov. Because we've seen, Charles Oliveira lose 8 times in the UFC, and Khabib never lost in the UFC. So it's better to start this debate as being the current version of Charles Oliveira, not the old version of Charles Oliveira, where he has, like a couple of very bad losses because he lost the fight with Paul Felder. And does anybody believe like Khabib is going to lose by Paul Felder, Jim Miller? No, I don't think so. Khabib will never lose to those guys because, let's be honest, Khabib has such dominant wrestling that he won't quit like Charles Oliveira quitted earlier in his career. So, I like this question because it says that whether the current version of Charles Oliveira will defeat Khabib Nurmagomedov. Let us think about the possibility of matchup that may happen, because let's see, for an example, if Charles Oliveira defeats Makhachev, and which will probably be his next matchup in the lightweight division for the vacant lightweight championship. Yeah, lightweight championship is vacant now because Charles Oliveira mixed weight, and it's kind of tricky because I think like he could have made weight, but I don't know what's the problem because of the scale or whatever that will decommission. So I think like if Charles Oliveira defeats Makhachev, there is a possibility of Khabib coming back. So I think to answer in that perspective, yeah, maybe we will know this answer when we see the fight with our eyes. So yeah, but I still believe, like Khabib Nurmagomedov will wipe the floor with Charles Oliveira. And there are reasons to believe in this perspective, in my perspective, because if you believe that an elite jiu-jitsu artist will do better against wrestler, you first have to think about the positions, whether Charles Oliveira will be able to get that position, whether if someone wants to submit you, he must be in the position to submit you. But whether he will get to that position because of his jiu-jitsu, I don't think so, because Khabib is a superior grappler. He will never be in those positions as Justin Gaethje, as Dustin Poirier. Yeah, Dustin Poirier is an elite jiu-jitsu artist, but he's not a great wrestler. He's never been a great wrestler. So I don't think like Justin Gaethje, yeah, we know he's very poor in jiu-jitsu department, but I don't think Khabib will give up those positions where Charles Oliveira's jiu-jitsu will be, efficacious, will be perfect, will be as much effective as it has been against Justin Gaethje, against Dustin Poirier. So I don't think like if Charles Oliveira fights against Khabib, not against Makhachev, I'm not talking about Makhachev, because Makhachev has a different style than Khabib. He's not that smashing style as Khabib has. So I don't think that Makhachev fight will be like good segue, a good way to look at whether this fight would be against, how the fight against of Charles Oliveira will look like against Khabib. So I don't think Charles Oliveira can get Khabib in those positions where his jiu-jitsu will be effective enough to defeat Khabib Nurmagomedov. So that's my perspective. But if you look at the opponents, the common opponents that Khabib had with Charles Oliveira, you will realize that Charles Oliveira actually did better, because he submitted Justin Gaethje in round 1. Khabib took more than one round to submit Justin Gaethje. He submitted Dustin Poirier in 3rd or 4th round, and Khabib submitted him in 4th round. So there's clearly Charles Oliveira is doing it a little easier. But when you realize that Charles Oliveira, even in those fights, have been losing rounds, have been getting beat up, and that's why, because he was actually been dropped twice by Justin Gaethje. So I think if you think about the fight more and more, you will realize that, oh my goodness, I'm picking the wrong guy. Charles Oliveira could not defeat Khabib, because there are reasons to believe that someone like Charles Oliveira can give more problems to someone like Khabib Nurmagomedov. Yeah, it's right. He will give more problems, because the jiu-jitsu, the level of jiu-jitsu that Charles Oliveira has, will be very tough for Khabib, because if he gives those guillotine as he given against Dustin Poirier, he will lose the fight. He will straight up lose the fight. So I think that Khabib Nurmagomedov's wrestling is on such a high level that he will not give that position to Charles Oliveira as is given against Dustin Poirier, because he was looking to submit Dustin Poirier and was late in the 3rd or 4th round. And also you don't want to do the stand-up game against Dustin Poirier, because Dustin Poirier is a powerful striker. He's a better counterpuncher. So I think whether Khabib will get into that guillotine as he got against Dustin Poirier, yeah, I feel that is less likely against Charles Oliveira, because Khabib will realize, because if he keeps, I think Khabib beats him in stand-up, because many people will be like, Charles Oliveira is great in stand-up because of his kicks and everything. But I feel like, if you really think about it, Khabib has very deceptive strikes. He's a very deceptive striker. But there has to be a gap to this conversation, because you must say that Khabib of the dominant era, not the Khabib who is overweight and all that we see now. Not the inactive Khabib, but the Khabib who is active, defending 3 times a year his belt. I like that Khabib will defeat Charles Oliveira, not the Khabib of the modern era, where he's fat and all that. He's not even a lightweight now. I think he's heavyweight or light heavyweight, something like that. So I feel like that's the point where I draw the line, that active Khabib will actually defeat Charles Oliveira. And also, let us talk about some other topics. There is this question that I have already covered on my YouTube channel, that whether Tony Ferguson should retire or not. And that video is very old. It's when Tony Ferguson lost against Beneil Dariush. So in that video I said that Tony Ferguson should not retire. But now, after this huge knockout loss against Michael Chandler, the way that he got knocked out, man, that was very sad to see. Being Tony Ferguson fan, that hurt me, because I've been his fan since El Cucuy days, since the day that he was the boogeyman. So I feel really bad for Tony Ferguson, because dual fight unbeaten streak, dual fight win streak, and yet he just became the interim champion, where clearly he should be the lightweight champion of the world. So I really feel bad for Tony Ferguson for not having this name that he was the former champion. It will be always said that Tony Ferguson was the interim champion. He was not the former lightweight champion. So I feel a little bad for him, and yeah, I think he should retire, because there's no bigger fan of Tony Ferguson than me. I believe this. Maybe this is not the best mixed martial arts channel in the entire world, but I believe that I'm the biggest fan of Tony Ferguson because I really like his style. He's like one of those guys who will just be so unique in his, like when he was in prime, everybody was afraid of him, and nobody would say that they were afraid of Tony Ferguson, but I would feel like everybody was afraid to fight him because he was such a unique fighter. Nobody can replicate him in the gym. Nobody can give you sparring rounds to give same look as him. You see how Kamaru Usman tried to replicate him and help Michael Chandler in the match against Tony Ferguson. So I feel like he should retire because too much brain damage, man. Too much brain damage. Because the way that he got knocked out, he took brain damage against Justin Gaethje, but it was more sort of like accumulative brain damage. He got really out-grappled against Charles Oliveira. That armbar, that was really nasty to look. How didn't he tap? And that knee bar against ankle lock or knee bar or something like that against Manel Dariush. I don't think, how didn't he tap? It's just beyond me, man. When I think about it, I just get this crazy vibe, Like Tony Ferguson is such a dangerous, personality. He's too dangerous for himself. I think he should retire now. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy, I've been hearing these jokes. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy that would get knocked out, that would get 4 times. He will lose 4 times in his previous 4 fights, and still would say in the Instagram captions that he's just getting started. He just got knocked out by Michael Chandler, and he's just saying in his Instagram caption that he's just getting started. I just don't know what goes in his mind, but as a fan, I believe he should get retired, or he can do some crazy matchups. Tony Ferguson versus Donald Cerrone 2, maybe, or some fun matchups like that. But as far as being the top lightweight of the world, top 5 lightweight, I don't believe Tony Ferguson would be that good. I don't believe he cannot win against top 5 or even maybe not even top 10. Tony Ferguson, Rafael Fiziev, how would that go? That would go really bad for Tony Ferguson. So I just feel like Tony Ferguson should, it's tough to say, but he should retire. He should, maybe he can have one fight where he's supposed to win, very outside top 15 fight, something like that. Maybe Tony Ferguson, Dan Hooker, something like that. So those are the 2 topics that I want to say. And now we're going to talk about some other fun matchups that has been revealed in the past 10 days or 15 days. The one of those matchups is Nate Diaz, Khamzat Chimaev. Oh my goodness, no. Don't do this to Nate Diaz, because if you lose, he's not only going to lose against Khamzat Chimaev, he will never be able to have the boxing career that he wants to have. He wants to get released by the UFC and have a boxing career, and I don't think if he loses against Khamzat Chimaev, he will just not lose. The part of his soul will go. No, not against Khamzat Chimaev. He's great, man. Khamzat Chimaev is one of the best, wrestlers in the welterweight division. He is one of those guys that is really scary for the style of matchup for Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz cannot knock out someone, okay? someone like Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns managed to rock Hamza Chimaev because he has great power. I don't feel like Nate Diaz has that kind of power. It's whenever Nate Diaz rocks someone, beats someone, it is not because of his power, but because of the accumulative damage. So I feel like Nate Diaz should not sign the fight against Hamza Chimaev if he really wants to have a boxing career somewhere down the line in his future, that he perceives as. I don't know what goes in the mind of Nate Diaz, so that's what I think. I'm a big Nate Diaz fan. That's what I also have to tell you, because I should give a disclaimer. I'm a fan of Nate Diaz. I'm a fan of Tony Ferguson. And Chandler called out, last one, Chandler called out two of the winners. He called out the winner of Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, which we know now that it is Charles Oliveira, and match against Conor McGregor. Rematch against Charles Oliveira and match against Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor matchup, I really like that matchup because, Conor McGregor matchup, who doesn't like Conor McGregor matchups, But I just cannot imagine what kind of press conference that would be, because Michael Chandler is one of the best at microphone. I think he's one of the best at mic, one of the best, promo guy that they have. And Conor McGregor is one of the all-time great when it comes to trash talking. So I really would like to see that press conference that they would have. And also, remember the time when Conor McGregor was, ripping through all of the featherweight and lightweight division. The guys that he do best against are shorter than him, and he can punch them staying outside the range and do some counter punching, and especially those guys that have weaker chin. So, and Chandler fits in those criteria because Tony Ferguson rocked Michael Chandler in the first round. So I feel like Chandler does not have a really hard chin. So McGregor can crack him, but still, no, it's not that easy, because Michael Chandler can absolutely put lights out of Conor McGregor. He can actually, actually make Conor McGregor retire, because after that leg damage, I think if someone can retire Conor McGregor, that's knockout by Michael Chandler, because dude is powerful, man. Dude is powerful. We see that the leg kick that he landed, man. So brutal against Tony Ferguson. Still, my heart is broken because of that. But I feel but that would be a very fun matchup, the build up and all that. But it's risky for Conor McGregor, but it would be a very fun matchup. And if Michael Chandler would beat Conor McGregor, what a legend he will be, 3 times Bellator lightweight champion, and now, defeating Conor McGregor. So it would be a very good fun matchup. It would be a very good fun matchup, and I would like to see that matchup, being a long-time UFC fan, being a long-time Michael Chandler, being a long-time Conor McGregor fan. So it would be great to see that matchup. And that's it for this podcast. I would just keep it under 20 minutes because lately it's been tough to find time to talk with these topics that I really like and care about, but I'm trying my best to keep up with this YouTube algorithm and on Spotify. I just want to keep it natural, where I give my honest and humble opinion about the topics that I really like to cover. I don't want to be super technical about something, because I don't like to get super technical about some things, because that would be giving my expert opinion about something, and I don't like I just like having random conversations. I don't like to give these expert breakdowns, because I tried doing those kind of videos, but I've realized that it would be really tough to understand for someone who's not into boxing, who's not into wrestling, who's not into great mixed martial arts in detail. They don't understand the details of the mixed martial arts game. So that's why I really want to talk in where I say stuff that are really that really excites me, and that are really exciting to me. So I just want to keep this format, and if you really like this format, just tell me in the comments that this is a great format to talk with, the people that I like. And really, the real reason that I have started this mixed martial arts channel is just have some friends that I can interact with. I really like friends who like mixed martial arts. So in my real life, they watch cricket with me, they watch football with me, they don't watch mixed martial arts or UFC with me. So I really like someone who will, have time to, really understand this mixed martial arts, and if they are genuine fans of mixed martial arts. So if you really like the content, the thing, you know what to do. Like, share and subscribe, and have a great day. Yeah, bye, see you later, alligator.